And if you're in a relationship with a man who does not give you that room to grow, that's not your man.
I would argue they giving you too much room to grow. That's why your back getting bigger and bigger and bigger. This video is inspired by a post from Daphne, celebrity. We have an image of a woman here. It's showing her when she was married versus divorced. Many women invest heavily in attraction during courtship, then shift into comfort once commitment arrives. When a man encourages health or effort, it's often mislabeled as criticism instead of care. The post-divorce glow-up isn't magic. It's just the return of the discipline that faded when accountability was replaced with complacency. Ooh, bar. They don't want to admit they got lazy because blaming the man is easier. Mic drop, y'all. This is what happens. And we, this isn't a new concept. We know women get lazy when they get into relationships. That's why we always hear about gaining the weight after you get in a relationship. I'm guilty, okay? I'm not coming from a I'm better than you hoes perspective. I'm guilty of it too. They call it happy relationship weight. You stop really putting yourself together, stop doing all the things that attracted your mate. And when they bring it to your attention, like, hey, you're not doing the things you used to do. You're not putting yourself together the way you used to. Then it's, oh, why are you judging me? You should love me the way I am. And it's like, I want you to love you too. There are some men who do take it to the next level, are kind of heartless to their women after they have babies and just, don't give them time to recover from that, because having a child is crazy work, okay? Having a child takes you through it. And some women need more time to bounce back. Not everybody is going to be the bounce back queen. Some people, like myself, have diastasis recti, just different things that make bouncing back difficult. However, that doesn't mean you don't try. Oftentimes, like Daphne said, a man communicating that they want you to put more effort into yourself is seen as, well, you don't love me the way I am. It's like, no, I want you to take care of you. That's what I want. Do we not care? We should want to look good for the man that we're with, right? This whole concept is very weird to me. Not wanting to look good for the man that you're with. Us as women, we need to understand it's okay to want to look good for your man. Honestly, if you have such a visceral reaction to doing things that your man likes, understand that's a sign you don't like that man, okay? Because best believe that was Chris Brown. She would have been in the gym. She'd have been putting her makeup on. She'd been doing her hair. She'd been doing all the things. But a lot of these women, they get into a relationship with men that they don't actually like. This ends up happening. It wasn't until they got out of the relationship that they wanted to prioritize their health. This has nothing to do with breakups. This has everything to do with you. You weren't prioritizing your health. You weren't taking care of yourself. Don't make it seem like it was because of the man that your back was big. No, it was because of you the entire time. Just like Scooby-Doo, when they take the mask off and they figure out who done it, it was you. You were doing this to yourself. It's not the man's fault. A lot of times they want to put it on, well, it was because of the relationship. It was because you're in the relationship. No, it's because of you. Because the only thing that truly changed were your choices. You were choosing to put the fork down. You were choosing to do some pushbacks from the table. I love that she's lost the weight, right? Sis looks amazing. You look phenomenal. And I love that for you. But it has nothing to do with the breakup. It has nothing to do with that man. It has everything to do with you and your choices. And I'm glad that you started making better choices, okay? Because this is the result. I'm trying to get there, okay? Without the breakup part. I don't want to do the breakup part, but I am trying to get there. You're doing your thing as far as like taking care of yourself, but you should have been taking care of yourself the entire time. You should have been taking care of yourself regardless if you were in that relationship or outside of it. And that's the part. Our health should not center around trying to attract a mate or trying to it shouldn't. It should center around us just wanting to be healthy. It has intrinsic value, sis, not just whether or not you can attract a man.
The way that women glow up after a divorce needs to be studied. I mean, women, we just glowing up is in our nature, but after a divorce, the post-divorce glow up, where even if you weren't married and you were in a long-term relationship, the glow up that happens after that is insane. I'm talking weight loss. I'm talking looking like a whole different person. I'm talking about dream career. I'm talking about just physically. You driving a good whip. You over here, hair done, nails done, everything done, glowing, growing, thriving. I have to argue if the relationship was stifling you. Who was that? Was that the real you? You know what I mean? Because as a woman, if you're with the right man, the man that God sends to you, you should be doing all of that stuff in the relationship. So if you weren't in a relationship also glowing and growing and leveling up and all that stuff, that is a clear indicator that that's not the man for you. And hear me out. If you are not growing, if you are not thriving in year one after a relationship, year two, then you have to really say, is this the man for me? Because regardless if you are with a man or if you're single, again, it is in a woman's nature to glow up. So either married or single, you should be evolving. And if you're in a relationship with a man who does not give you that room to grow, that's not your man.
I would argue they're giving you too much room to grow. That's why your back getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So this is the problem. You keep passing off the buck to the man. You could be, realistically, you could be maintaining your weight, maintaining your skin, maintaining your hair, maintaining yourself, doing all of it, glowing up, as she said. You could be doing that, but you're choosing not to. That is on you. This is the problem that I have with a lot of these women, is that they want to blame the man for everything, when it's like, no, you have control over whether or not you're taking care of your skin, of whether or not you're stuffing your face. Unless that man is out here force feeding food down your throat, you are in control of that. So stop giving your power all the way to the man. You have choices. I'm not saying that there aren't men that you can get into a relationship with and then they take you through there, obviously, but it's still up to you whether or not you take care of yourself, whether or not you keep your weight at a reasonable, manageable level. These are related to your choices, not that man. So stop passing the buck off to the man. You have too much room. That's why you let yourself go, because the man allows you to be comfortable, because they're not sitting over here checking you and telling you, hey, you've gained a little weight. They're not saying these things to you. So you're complacent. You're gaining the extra weight because he's not checking you on that. So y'all want to sit over here and blame it on the man? No. Talking about, is that the real you? Yes, it is. The real you is lazy as hell. The real you don't want to give a damn. But because now you're up from under that man and you're back on the dating market, you know you got to compete. That's when you start seeing that glow up. Oh, I have to compete again. We should be, working to be our best self for the person that we're with. And I say that for the man as well. The man should be working to be his best self for you as well. We should want to look good for our partner. I think it's weird that you don't want to look good for your partner. There should be some comfortability with that as well. But at the end of the day, we should still be striving to give our lover, our husband, that feeling, okay? Stop blaming men for everything. Y'all say y'all grown, but then you want to blame everybody else like a child. It makes no goddamn sense.
It was never going to be him. And now you're like backed up. That's why women do the dramatic things like cut off all their hair, or you just go skydiving, or a lot of us have our little 304 season because you were not allowed to express yourself. You weren't being who you were really supposed to be. A woman is supposed to have that space to be everything she wants to be, to look and feel her best. So if you're even dating someone and you're not leveling up in any type of way, I'm talking about like even the conversation isn't stimulating you or getting you to think in a different way or encouraging you to be your best self, cut it off immediately, because you're going to end up like a lot of women, including myself, when we're locked down in these relationships for years and we missed our post glow up and now we're trying to catch up. But you can't catch up. God is a restorer. But, if you could prevent yourself from doing so, do that.
Another thing that I want to kind of mention is this: well, God will send you the right man. Stop saying that God gonna do all these different things, because at the end of the day, that could be your man, but you're fumbling the man. So stop bringing God into this. These are your choices. God gonna send you the right man. Maybe he is the right man and you're just not the right woman. It's just everyone wants to defer to God when it's convenient. They never want to take accountability for their choices in all of this. Because if you're saying that God is sending men and all this other stuff your way, then guess what? That means he sent that very man to you. And what'd you do? This whole glow up after divorce, it's just you are now having to compete again. You're getting back to being competition ready. That's all this is. It has nothing to do with the man, unless he is literally keeping you as a caged little bird, unless he is out here really you, then it's just you're now wanting to compete. You're now knowing that you have to compete with other women. So now you're putting yourself together, you're putting in the work, you're losing the weight. And then some of these broads, they do that to get back at the man, which is giving obsessed. This post glow up, it doesn't need to be studied. What needs to be studied is why a lot of people, and we're talking about women, so specifically women, feel the need to scapegoat accountability for their choices. You chose to eat yourself into a bigger back. You chose to not take care of your skin. You chose to not take care of your hair. You chose to not do these things. What is it about you that needed to get fixed? And how can we maintain that even when we're in relationships? But y'all, I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. How do you feel about this whole divorce glow up nonsense? Do you think, yeah, it's the relationship and it's the man's fault, the reason why your back got bigger and your skin was broke all the way out? It was the man's fault. It's the man's fault. Okay, I'm trying to tell y'all, man bad, woman good. Or do you think like me, where it's like, girl, these are your choices. You are a product of your choices. You were making these choices in the relationship, and now you're making different ones. Has nothing to do with the man. It has everything to do with you. I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. If you like the video, like the video. The more you interact with it, the more it gets pushed out into the algorithm. Thank you guys so much, and I will see y'all with the next one. Deuces.
What?